Here's how I teach people in the beginning. You develop your 1 or 2 ideas that truly tell the marketplace you're different and better. The best option, hands down. The plain language test is, you might tell them your name. You're certainly going to tell them what category the business or the nonprofit is in. And then, you know what? Plain language. We're different from our competitors. Here's why. Number 1, number 2. 1's better than 2, by the way, but 2's fine. Here's the crazy test. Now, you don't say this unless you really want to. You might choose to do that. The crazy test, you tell them your name, maybe, you tell them what category you're in, and if you don't use us, if you don't support us, you're crazy. Here's why. It's actually a different filter if you think of it that way. How would you dominate the marketplace? How would you absolutely marginalize the competition? Why are they crazy to not use you? Do you know? I do. Do you? You need to develop that. By the way, it's okay to speak normally. You can talk about the weather. You can talk about the sports, you know, whatever you feel like. Don't do this. Never mind hello. We're different. Don't bash people over the head with your positioning. You'll get to it. There's a moment in every interaction when somebody, you know, it's that magic moment. They either ask you literally, you know, what do you do? That's one. Don't miss that. But there's always a moment. Yeah, don't miss that part. Because this turns into this. And that's not what you want people to remember. That'll become your brand. That person that was rolling around on the floor fighting. That's not what you want. Okay, very quick. I'm almost done. Verbal branding platform. Now we're talking about this. It's actually done. You literally have a verbal branding platform now. Here's the vision. You know what it actually is? It's a platform to think and speak. That's what it is. Thinking comes first. If you don't know what to think, you will not be able to say it. And you will not be able to unify your team around it, however large your group is. It's a platform to think and speak. That's what you push out through the organization. And remember where I started at the very beginning? I said simultaneous improvement of sales, culture, and brand density. And now I've explained brand density. I'm even going to add management modeling, I call it. How does a manager or a leader make a decision? Well, if you don't know who you are in the marketplace, if you don't know what your positioning is, what do you base your decisions on? Simultaneous improvement. All of a sudden, these become integrated as well, based on one platform. Everyone's all of a sudden going in the exact same direction. You know how hard that is to do? It's very hard. But it needs to be done as best as possible. One platform of 1 or 2 ideas at most, or it is not branding anymore. And I guarantee that the brand that you develop, if it's done decently or very well, is the way to sell, is the way to raise money. Ever heard of Occam's razor? Who's heard of Occam's razor? Look it up on Wikipedia if you want. Occam's razor, there's a couple ways they describe it. The simplest solution is usually the right answer. You ever hear that? Maybe you've heard that said that way. That's called Occam's razor. It's a scientific principle. But it's appropriate for what we're talking about because if it is not simple, it will not work. Period. That's why I've designed verbal branding the way I have, because I try to work with companies of all sizes, but the larger the organization, the harder it is to unify. If it isn't simple, it will not work. And then you have all the other criteria that I've talked about. A couple of quick reminders. No elevator pitches, ever. Please do us all a favor and yourself, most importantly, forget about it. Forget about it. Do some ritual. Throw it down on the ground and burn it. I don't know. Do something with it, but don't ever use an elevator pitch again. You've got 5 seconds and 2 concepts at most. That's how to position, and it will lead your conversation in the correct direction. 1 or 2 positioning ideas only. Different and better. Use that as a filter. Why are we different and better? Different, and because of that difference, a better option. And you always want to point, you know, if there's more than one person around, doesn't matter how many, always point the results of that work internally first so that you can then push out the marketing messages through spoken, electronic, whatever goes on in your organization. I'll finish with this. Patrick Lencioni, if you've ever heard of him, he's a recognized guru for teamwork. He wrote the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Have you ever heard of that book? Pretty good book. If you can get all the people in an organization rowing in the same direction, you can dominate any industry and any market against any competition at any time. True. That's me. Thank you very much for your time.